In a galaxy filled with many strange worlds, a great council gathered. This council was made up of leaders from different alien races. They had come together to discuss a problem that was growing bigger by the day: humanity. News of the humans from Earth had spread across the stars, and it was not good news. The council met in a large circular room. The walls were made of shining metal, and screens displayed images of humans in battle. The leaders took their seats, each one looking worried. The head of the council, a tall alien with blue skin and sharp eyes, began the meeting. "We are here to discuss the threat of humans," he said, his voice echoing through the room. "They are unlike any other species we have encountered." A representative from the fierce Zelar race stood up. "I have heard stories of their battles," he said. "They do not fight like us. They are unpredictable. One moment they are calm, and the next they unleash their fury. We must be careful." As he spoke, the other leaders nodded. They had heard similar tales. Humans were known for their strange strategies and fierce fighting skills. A video played on the screen showing humans using everything from guns to knives. In one scene, a human soldier stood alone against a group of aliens, fighting fiercely and refusing to back down. The aliens could not understand how one being could show such courage. Next, a historian named Alara took the floor. She was small but wise, with bright green skin and large, expressive eyes. "I have studied the history of Earth," she began. "It is a planet of war and chaos. For centuries, humans have fought amongst themselves. They have experienced great suffering, but they have always come back stronger. They adapt and learn from their mistakes." Ilara displayed images of ancient battles, showing how humans had transformed their pain into power. The council listened closely, realizing how dangerous humans could be. "If we do not prepare," Ilara warned, "we may find ourselves facing an enemy that cannot be defeated." The council's mood shifted as they absorbed this information. They had thought of humans as weak and primitive, but now they were starting to see a different picture. A tall, green-skinned alien named Zorak stood up, his voice booming. "We must issue a warning to our people. Humans are not to be underestimated. They are unpredictable and can strike when we least expect it." His words caused a stir among the leaders. "But how do we prepare for such a foe?" asked a leader from the aquatic planet of Thalassia. "Humans fight in ways that we do not understand. They are strange and wild." Another leader suggested sending spies to Earth. "We need to learn their ways. We must find out how they think and fight. Only then can we hope to defend ourselves." The council agreed to this plan, but deep down, many of the leaders felt a growing fear. As they discussed strategies, the reality of the situation sank in. Humanity was not the weak species they had believed. The meeting ended, but the tension remained. Leaders left the chamber, whispering to one another. As they looked at the stars, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the edge of a great storm. Back on Earth, humans went about their lives, unaware of the danger lurking in the galaxy. They were busy with their own challenges, but deep within, there was a spirit that had been forged through centuries of struggle. This spirit was alive and well, ready to rise to any challenge. The aliens had made their warning, but little did they know, humans were not just survivors. They were warriors. The galaxy would soon learn the true power of humanity, and the Council's fears would become a reality. The news of the human threat spread quickly through the galaxy. The Alien Council realized that they had to act. They could not let humanity continue to grow unchecked. So the powerful Zarak Empire decided to test the humans. They believed their technology and strength would easily crush the Earthlings, but they were in for a surprise. A fleet of Zarak warships, sleek and menacing, set course for Earth. The ships gleamed under the light of distant stars, their weapons ready to strike. The Zarak leaders were confident that their advanced technology would make quick work of the humans. "We will show them who is in charge," the commander declared. "They will bow to our might." As the fleet approached Earth, they began to broadcast messages to the human population. "Humans!" the voice echoed through the airwaves. "You have been warned. Your time is up. Surrender now and you may be spared. Defy us and you will face destruction!" On Earth, people heard the message and felt a mix of fear and anger. They gathered in cities wondering what to do. In the heart of one bustling city, a brave leader named Captain Mark Thompson stepped forward. He was a tall man with a strong presence, known for his quick thinking and courage. "We will not surrender," he shouted to the crowd. "We are humans. We fight for our freedom and we will not be intimidated." His words ignited a fire within the people. They were ready to defend their home. Mark quickly organized a plan. He called on scientists, engineers, and soldiers to work together. They had to prepare for battle. Mark knew that while the Zarek Empire had advanced technology, humans had something equally powerful: their spirit and determination. In the days that followed, people worked tirelessly. Engineers reinforced their defenses and soldiers trained harder than ever. They studied the videos of the Zarek ships, trying to find weaknesses. They built makeshift weapons and created strategies to outsmart their enemy. The humans knew they had to be clever. As the Zarek fleet drew closer, the aliens were confident. They believed their advanced ships and weaponry would easily overpower the humans. But they underestimated human ingenuity. On the day of the attack, the Zarek commander ordered the fleet to engage. "Prepare for battle," he commanded. The first wave of Zarek ships descended upon Earth, firing their powerful lasers. But humans were ready. Mark had set up a series of traps and defenses. Some of the Zarek ships were caught in nets made of strong metal. Others were hit by homemade missiles, causing chaos among their ranks. As the battle raged, Mark led his team from the ground. He communicated with pilots in the sky, giving them instructions and guidance. "Stay close! Use the terrain to your advantage," he shouted over the comms. The humans flew their aircraft with skill, dodging the Zarek lasers and striking back with everything they had. Despite the Zarek's superior technology, the humans fought back with fierce determination. The aliens were taken aback by the humans' clever tactics and unexpected resilience. "What is happening?" the Zarek commander asked in disbelief as his ships began to fall. The tide of battle began to turn. Humans used their creativity to adapt to the situation. They built makeshift weapons from what they could find and turned ordinary objects into tools of war. The Zarek fleet struggled to keep up with the humans' unpredictable moves. As the sun began to set, the sky was filled with smoke and sparks. Humans cheered as they managed to take down several Zarek ships. But the battle was far from over. The Zarek commander realized he had underestimated humanity. "We must regroup and strike back," he shouted. On Earth, Mark and his team knew they had only begun to show their strength. They would not back down, and they would continue to fight for their home. The message was clear. Humans were not the weak creatures the Council had believed. They were fierce and determined warriors ready to protect their world at any cost. The Zarek Empire had made a grave mistake in challenging humanity. They had tested the spirit of Earth, and now they would face the consequences. The battle between the humans and the Zarek Empire raged on, but now the tide was turning in favor of Earth. The Zarek fleet had come to conquer, but they were discovering that humanity was far more powerful than they had ever imagined. As news of their initial victories spread across Earth, the humans felt a surge of pride and determination. They were ready to unleash their full fury. Captain Mark Thompson stood on a hill overlooking the battlefield. He watched as his fellow soldiers celebrated their small victories, but he knew that this was just the beginning. "We have to keep pushing forward," he said, rallying his troops. "We've shown them that we can fight back. Now let's show them what we're truly capable of." Inspired by their leader's words, the humans prepared for the next phase of the battle. They gathered in makeshift command centers, planning their next moves. Engineers worked around the clock, turning civilian vehicles into makeshift war machines. They transformed trucks into armored transports, and small boats were modified to carry weapons. The creativity and resourcefulness of humanity shone brightly. As the sun rose the next day, marking the start of a new assault, the atmosphere was electric with anticipation. Mark and his team had developed a daring plan. They would take the fight directly to the heart of the Zarek fleet. The humans were ready to unleash their fury in a way the Zarek had never seen before. They launched their attack early in the morning, flying under the cover of dawn. The humans divided their forces, sending some to engage the Zarek ships in the sky, while others approached from the ground. With their modified vehicles, they charged towards the Zarek command ship, a massive vessel that loomed like a dark cloud. As they drew closer, the Zarek ships were caught off guard. Mark led the charge in his armored vehicle, shouting orders to his team. "Stay low and hit hard! We're going to make them remember this day." The humans fired their weapons with precision, aiming for the weak spots in the Zarek ships. Explosions erupted as missiles struck their targets, sending debris flying through the air. The Zarek forces began to panic, unsure how to respond to this unexpected assault. On the ground, Mark and his soldiers pushed forward. They stormed the Zarek command ship, breaching its defenses and fighting their way inside. The humans fought with passion, fueled by the desire to protect their home. They worked together, moving as one unit, striking down Zarek soldiers who tried to stop them. Meanwhile, in the sky, the human pilots engaged in fierce dogfights with the Zarek ships. The pilots used their agility to outmaneuver the bulky Zarek vessels. They flew low to the ground, dodging laser blasts and returning fire with deadly accuracy. The humans were fearless, knowing they were fighting for their survival. As the battle intensified, a sense of unity filled the hearts of the soldiers. They were no longer just individuals, they were a force to be reckoned with. They fought not just for themselves, but for their families, their friends, and their entire planet. With every victory, they grew bolder and more determined. Back on the Zarek command ship, the commander watched in horror as his forces began to falter. "How can this be happening?" he yelled, frustration boiling over. "We are the most powerful empire in the galaxy." But the humans were not backing down. They pressed on, overwhelming the Zarek soldiers inside their ship. Finally, Mark and his team reached the control room. With one final push, they took down the Zarek commander, ensuring that the human spirit would not be crushed. As the last Zarek ship fell from the sky, the humans erupted in cheers. They had shown the galaxy their true strength. They had unleashed their fury, and now the Zarek Empire would know that humanity was not to be underestimated. Mark stood tall, looking over the battlefield. The victory was sweet, but he knew the fight was far from over. This was just the beginning of a long struggle, and humanity was ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. With the fierce spirit of Earth behind them, the humans had proven they could rise against the greatest odds. After their stunning victory, the humans felt a surge of hope. Captain Mark Thompson and his team had shown that they could stand against the mighty Zarek Empire. News of their triumph spread across Earth, inspiring people everywhere. However, the Zarek Empire was not finished yet. They were furious and determined to crush humanity once and for all. The Zarek command, humiliated by their defeat, gathered in a dark war room aboard their flagship. "These humans think they have won," the Zarek commander growled. "We will make them regret their defiance. We will unleash everything we have." His words echoed in the room, fueling the anger of his officers. They knew they had to strike back hard. Days passed, and the Zarek Empire prepared for their retaliation. They sent out more ships, building a massive fleet that would dwarf anything humans had faced before. These ships were armed with advanced weapons, designed to destroy everything in their path. The Zarek planned a surprise attack, hoping to catch humanity off guard. Meanwhile, on Earth, Mark and his team were busy preparing for the next wave of attacks. They knew the Zarek would not give up easily. "We must be ready for anything," Mark told his soldiers. "We have proven we can fight, but now we need to prepare for the worst." The humans worked day and night, reinforcing their defenses and training for the battles to come. As the Zarek fleet approached Earth, the tension grew. People across the planet watched the skies, waiting for the inevitable conflict. Mark held meetings with his commanders, discussing strategies and tactics. They needed to find a way to counter the Zarek's advanced technology. "We have to use our creativity again," Mark urged. "We may be outnumbered, but we are not outsmarted." Then, on a bright morning, the Zarek fleet arrived. Thousands of ships filled the sky, blocking out the sun. It was an intimidating sight. The Zarek commander issued a broadcast to Earth. "Humans, you have pushed us too far. Surrender now or face complete annihilation." Mark listened to the message and felt the anger rise within him. "We will never surrender," he shouted to his troops. "We will fight until our last breath." The humans prepared for battle, ready to defend their home. The first wave of the Zarek fleet launched a brutal assault. Lasers lit up the sky and explosions echoed across the land. Humans scrambled to their battle stations, determined to protect their world. They fought bravely, using every trick they had learned in the previous battles. But this time, the Zarek were ready. Their ships moved in perfect coordination, targeting human defenses with deadly accuracy. The humans found themselves overwhelmed, and fear began to creep into their hearts. Mark felt the pressure mounting but refused to give in. "Stay strong! We have faced worse odds," he shouted over the chaos. As the battle continued, Mark knew they needed to change their tactics. They could not fight head-on against such a powerful fleet. Instead, he devised a plan to outsmart the Zarek. "Let's lure them into a trap," he suggested. "We can use the terrain to our advantage." His idea was risky, but it was their best chance. With new determination, the humans regrouped. They drew the Zarek into a narrow canyon where their numbers would count for less. The humans hid their weapons, creating a false sense of security for the Zarek. As the Zarek ships entered the canyon, Mark gave the signal. Now! Suddenly, the humans launched their attack. They fired from all sides, catching the Zarek off guard. The element of surprise turned the tide of battle. Zarek ships began to fall, and the humans pushed forward, feeling the adrenaline rush through their veins. But the Zarek commander was not defeated yet. "Reinforce our positions," he ordered. "We will crush these humans." He commanded his remaining forces to regroup and counterattack. The battle escalated into a chaotic clash, with lasers flying and explosions shaking the ground. Despite their initial victories, the humans faced a fierce retaliation from the Zarek. Mark fought with everything he had, leading his team with courage and determination. The war had become a test of wills, and both sides were unwilling to back down. As night fell, the battlefield was lit by flashes of light and the sounds of conflict. The humans were weary but unyielding. They knew they were fighting not just for themselves, but for their future. The Zarek Empire had underestimated them, and now they would face the full fury of humanity. The battle had raged for days, and the humans were exhausted. Captain Mark Thompson and his team had fought bravely against the Zarek Empire. They had faced overwhelming odds and lost many good soldiers, but they had also made incredible gains, showing the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. After the fierce battles in the canyon, Mark stood on a rocky cliff, looking out at the remains of the battlefield. Smoke still lingered in the air, and the sound of distant explosions echoed in the background. It was a sight both tragic and beautiful. "We have pushed them back," he thought, a sense of pride swelling in his chest. But the war was far from over. The Zarek commander, furious and desperate, was planning one final assault. "We will show them the true meaning of defeat," he vowed to his officers. "This time we will not hold back. We will obliterate their cities and crush their spirit." Meanwhile, on Earth, the news spread like wildfire. People were both scared and inspired by the courage of their soldiers. They had watched their friends and family fight against a powerful enemy. Now, they rallied together to support their warriors. Supplies poured in from every corner of the globe, and volunteers joined the fight. Everyone wanted to do their part to defend their home. Mark returned to his command center, where his team was busy planning their next move. "We need to finish this," he said, gathering his officers. "We cannot allow the Zarek to strike again. We need to make a final stand." The room buzzed with energy and determination. The next day, as dawn broke, the humans prepared for what they knew could be the decisive battle. Mark gave a stirring speech, his voice steady and clear. "Today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for our future. We fight to show the universe that humanity will not be bullied. Let's show them what we're made of." With renewed spirit, the humans set their defenses and awaited the Zarek forces. They knew this battle would not be easy, but they were ready. As the Zarek ships approached, the sky darkened, and a wave of fear washed over the humans. But Mark's voice rang in their ears, reminding them of their purpose. As the Zarek fleet descended, the humans fired their weapons with all their might. Explosions lit up the sky as ships clashed. The sounds of battle filled the air, but this time, the humans fought with everything they had. They remembered their fallen comrades and fought for their memories. The Zarek commander, seeing the fierce resistance, grew angry. "They are nothing but insects. Crush them!" he yelled, urging his ships forward. But the humans were not backing down. They fought with a determination that surprised even them. As the battle escalated, Mark led a team to launch a daring attack on the Zarek command ship. "We can end this now!" he shouted, charging forward. They fought through waves of Zarek soldiers, pushing their way to the heart of the enemy vessel. Inside the command ship, the Zarek commander felt the pressure mounting. He realized that the humans were not going to surrender. In a desperate move, he activated a self-destruct sequence, intending to take down the humans with him. "They will pay for their defiance," he hissed, but Mark and his team were quicker. As they reached the command room, they found the commander ready to detonate the ship. "Stop!" Mark shouted, and a fierce struggle began. The humans fought with every ounce of strength they had, knowing that the fate of their planet hung in the balance. In the end, Mark and his team managed to subdue the Zarek commander just in time. They disabled the self-destruct sequence and captured him. "You will tell your empire what happened here," Mark said, breathing heavily. "You will tell them that humanity is not to be trifled with. With their command ship captured and their forces weakened, the Zarek retreated. The humans had won, but at a great cost. As the dust settled, they realized they had sent a message across the stars: do not underestimate humanity. We will fight for our home, and we will not back down. Mark stood amidst the ruins of the battlefield, looking at his fellow soldiers. They were bruised and battered, but they were alive. We did it, he said, voice filled with emotion. We showed them our strength. Let this be a warning to all who dare to challenge us. The humans had emerged victorious, but they knew their journey was far from over. They had to rebuild and prepare for whatever came next. The war had changed them, but it had also united them. Together, they had sent a message that would echo through the galaxy for generations to come. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with, and they would always stand their ground.